Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Just bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie will connect you with local pros who match your specific needs. Or book a service instantly at an upfront price. So join the millions of homeowners who use Angie to care for their homes and get your next home service job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com. Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Just bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie will connect you with local pros who match your specific needs. Or book a service instantly at an upfront price. So join the millions of homeowners who use Angie to care for their homes and get your next home service job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
This is the first time I'm seeing this. That's not my signature.
She's crazy. Or she's a fraud.
I'll tell you she's crazy. I'll tell you more than that, Your Honor. I'll tell you, that's not my signature. I don't sign my signature like that. And I'll even give you my ID.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the first time I'm seeing something that garbage like that.
This is the plaintiff, Bruce Woods. He says the defendant, his ex-girlfriend, acted like a child when he broke up with her, so he told her she needed to move out. She stole things from him, spread feces on his clothes, and put urine in his mouthwash. He called the cops. She's one crazy woman, and he now knows there's no anger like the anger from a woman scorned. He's suing for $5,000 for his stolen and ruined things. This is the defendant, Priscilla. She says the plaintiff is the immature one. He used her face towel to wipe his privates. He would shut the water while she was in the shower, and he even had her evicted from the apartment they shared. All of his accusations are false. He's done the same thing with other women he's dated, and she is sure the judge will see this for what it is, and she will win this case. She's accused of taking things too far. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,231.98 for future living expenses.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Milan in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Bruce Woods, you
Yes,
are
ma'am.
suing Priscilla. You've asked to be referred to only as Priscilla for $5,000. You say that you're out $3,400 in property that she stole when you guys broke up and she moved out, plus all kinds of damage to different things and pain and suffering because of the kind of damage, which we will talk about in just one moment. You have a counterclaim against him for $1,231.98 that you say he owes you for future living expenses. All right, what's going on?
I met this woman online, and we were, I think, back
Online how?
through a website.
A dating site?
Correct.
Okay.
And it was the worst thing I ever did. And through that time, we agreed to
You
mutually...
can't blame the website.
Pardon?
Kind of on you when you spend 3 years with somebody. It's
True.
no longer the website. They just made the introduction.
True.
Okay.
So we agreed to move into my place where...
How long had you been dating before you agreed to that?
About 6 months to a year.
Okay.
And things wasn't working out. I was doing everything.
How
for
long
this-
did you live together before you decided things weren't working out?
About maybe a year and a half.
Okay.
And in that time, I did everything for her. I mean, I washed the clothes. I went out and, grocery shopped. I, cooked for her. I even went to her school to pay $1,600 for her to go to school, that kind of thing. So I was good to her. And in that time, she was going to school. Things weren't working out, irreconcilable differences.
What was the problem, do you think?
Well, I saw that she wasn't trying to do anything in the house, and, her attitude was terrible. She walked in the house, wouldn't speak. She moved out of the room, got her own bedroom set. So she was acting like more of a roommate than a girlfriend. So I said, that's it. I just had enough. And I just said, I'm going to evict you. Went to the room.
Evict you? Why didn't you just break up with her?
Well,
I mean,
that was the form of the breakup.
That's a form of a breakup. Why aren't you guys like other people who say, hey, this isn't working out, we're breaking up, and then she just leaves?
Everybody does things differently.
I guess so. So you tell her, by the way, I'm evicting you, and that's how you break up?
Basically, as far as I was concerned, yes. And when I told her that, she never said anything, so I just said, okay, well, we're just going to go follow through with this.
So you actually filed an eviction?
I sure did.
It's your place, right?
Correct.
There's no question about that. So when he says, hey, listen, it's over, why don't you just move out instead of forcing him to evict you?
So when he did that, we were supposed to agree upon a date that we would do this.
What do you mean you were supposed to agree upon a date?
Because of our renter's agreement that we had when I initially moved in.
You have a renter's agreement with him?
Yes, I most certainly do, Your Honor.
Okay.
That we signed when I first moved in.
Okay, do you have a copy of that?
I most certainly do.
Okay. Do you have did you sign a renter's agreement?
I don't remember.
You
I can't remember what he did yesterday.
Live-in rental agreement, rent plus extras. Between Priscilla and Bruce. This live-in rental couples agreement, after several discussions and after a year and a half of dating, we agree with loving heart and help from family members to move in, and then it has all these explicits. And then this is a second agreement that says, yes, I'll give her $1,000 if the relationship doesn't work out to help her get things.
Can I see that, Your Honor?
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, he don't remember what he did day to day.
How do you know he doesn't remember? Maybe he does remember.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first time I'm seeing this. That's not my signature.
She's crazy. Or she's a fraud.
I'll tell you she's crazy. I'll tell you more than that, Your Honor. I'll tell you, that's not my signature. I don't sign my signature like that. And I'll even give you my ID.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's the first time I'm seeing something that garbage like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. He seems pretty confident.
Oh. Nah.
I wouldn't say no garbage like that.
Yeah,
how long did it take from the time that you walk in and say, it's over, I'm going to evict you, to the time that she leaves? How long did it take?
I'd say about 2 to 3 months.
And those 2 to 3 months, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes and understand why you didn't just get up and leave.
Thank you.
Unless you're enjoying it.
I'm not so much enjoying it, but maybe
Were you trying to get back with him?
Yeah, Your Honor, trying to make things work. But eventually that went south, so.
Okay. So now, how did those couple months go for you?
Hell, she was putting urine in my mouthwash. She was putting glass in my food. I would come home, I cook some curry chicken, and I go into the refrigerator. What the heck is that? So, I thought that maybe there was some like grit in it. So I went to bite it again. There, I pulled out a piece of glass. Nobody comes in my house except her. She was the only one that had the keys. She was the one who was doing that stuff. She was keying my locks.
What do you mean keying your lock?
She would take a key, stick it in the lock, and break it, so I couldn't get in my house. And then since she has left, none of this stuff has happened.
Nobody's urinating in your mouthwash?
No.
Did you do that?
No, Your Honor. But I can tell you, this man, after we had our first initial argument and I called the police because he started messing with my things.
How so?
This gentleman decides that he wanted to take my face cloth, wipe his behind with it after he take a bowel movement. Now, I'm a little meticulous, so it's only the two of us in the house. I know when something of mine has been shuffled around in this
I'm pretty
place.
sure that even the least meticulous person might know that, if in fact it happened, but go ahead.
I'm looking at it saying, something's wrong here. So, of course, I get a little closer, and I can see feces on it. Okay, that makes more sense.
That's a total lie.
Was she paying rent?
At that time, no.
Before that, was she?
Yes.
How much?
It was $700 a month.
So,
Your Honor,
tell me why you wouldn't move out when this is happening.
I had a lot of things going on. That was stupidity on my behalf. I should have just went anywhere to get away from this.
What you did instead was you went to court and you got a restraining order against him.
Because of what he did before. What he did to get his second ex-wife out the house is that this gentleman stabbed himself, lied to the police in order for her to get out the house.
So let's talk about the last day, okay? She ends up moving out when the judge says you have until the end of the month.
Correct.
You actually have your hearing. The judge says you have until the end of the month.
Well, we never went to the judge.
So
we went
the
to an arbitrator.
arbitrator.
Correct.
So she's supposed to get out at the end of the month, and does she?
No, she moved out before that.
The judge says she's got to get out. She gets out earlier, and according to you, which is the subject of this lawsuit, what happens?
Okay, I went to work that day, and she had that day off. So I go to work, I come back home, and I walk into the house, and I'm looking around, stuff is missing. So I'm walking around, looking to find out what's missing. I go up to my bedroom, I'm smelling, like, what is this smell I'm smelling? So I go in the bedroom. Now my bedroom is totally ransacked. I took pictures of it. She took PlayStations, TVs, my key fob, my extra. I have a brand new 2014 Jeep Cherokee. She took my extra key fob to my truck. She threw feces around in the cup. Threw feces around, and she thinks it's funny.
Do you have feces in a cup in my courtroom?
No, it's right here.
Yeah, I know.
It's right here. I took pictures of it. I took pictures of it too. She threw it all over my clothes. Did you
call
sick.
the police?
Yes, I called the police. The police told me it was a civil matter.
Right, that's what they, I mean, well, it's not. It would be a criminal matter if somebody does this kind of thing. I don't understand it, but I do believe you that the police said it was a civil matter. You saved the feces in the cup?
Yeah, just like I took pictures.
No, it's very different than just taking pictures. Just in case you were going to go get that evidence, do not go get that evidence. Can I see the pictures, however?
Well, I don't know where it is now.
Yeah, well, I know where it is. I know where it's not going. Can I see the computer has the pictures?
Yes.
Okay, actually, let me see.
There you go. So run it.
Sickness, just
I feel
sickness.
like okay. All right, yeah, bring the computer. Bring the computer. Let's lay it on here. What's this a picture of?
That's where my refrigerator was. All the bottles she took out.
That's a wine refrigerator she took?
Refrigerator. She took it out.
She took out all of the bottles.
Yep.
Why did you take the wine refrigerator?
No one took any of his property, Your Honor. He's sitting up here telling all these lies.
Okay, but all the bottles have been taken out of something and put on the windowsill.
He's an alcoholic. That's what he do.
Okay, but they're taken out. Those are bottles
Yep,
I'm talking. Mm-hmm. Those are bottles that would be inside of something that was taken.
Right.
I mean, you know, because those bottles would not be stored on the windowsill like that.
Your Honor, there is no way we could go into a locked room. He had a lock on that door where he talking about all the stuff
is that
was
his
taken
room?
from.
No, that's in the kitchen.
Okay, so you could go in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah,
right?
definitely I can go in the kitchen.
Okay, what is that?
Ask him.
Well, he says it's your feces, and then he called the police immediately, and the police did write a report. I'm looking at the report.
And it's funny, Your Honor, because when they try to call her, she never answered the phone. But it's funny that when your office called, she's answering the phone. It's very funny how when the police try to call her, she never answered the phone.
What's this a picture of?
That's I think that's my bedroom, and she ransacked it. She ransacked it. She threw all the stuff. That's where can I show you?
Yeah, go ahead.
She went in there and she took my Nintendo.
That's
where she took my George Foreman grill, and she left the cat stain to it. She's sick.
Okay. What is this?
That's where my $1,500 bike was. It was standing right there. She even took the shoes to the bike. She took my look through the feces, and then she went into, because she took my key fob. She went into my shed because the key fob had all those keys on it, and she took my brand new generator. She took it all on my clothes, Your Honor. Just threw it. Disgusting, nasty. And I know I didn't do that. I wouldn't do that to my own stuff.
Who would do that to their own stuff?
The same reason why he would stab himself to get the second ex-wife out the house.
Yeah, watch this. Did you stab yourself to get your second ex-wife out of the house?
Exactly.
And then if I did that, I would have got arrested.
Stop. Calm down.
Look at that, Your Honor.
I have the text message where he admitted to doing that, Your Honor. And he calling me crazy.
No, I'm calling you crazy.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Somebody sees it.
Let me see the text message you're talking about, because I know he didn't do this. I don't think anybody would do this to themselves.
Yeah.
It's too disgusting. And there's no reason to, when all the man wanted was for you to just get out, and you'd finally gotten out.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess unless you took things, you have to be lying for you to be right. If you stole things, then his anger might make him frame you like this. But if all you did was take your clothes and meekly walk away, I don't think that this would be happening.
He's not gonna.
He's not gonna what?
Reap any of the rewards of all my hard work, like he said.
That sounds like a woman scorned if I ever heard one.
Okay,
Can I please please have the gentleman, here we go. Do you have anything else with your signature on it or no?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
I gotta tell you, there's a couple things that have me very disturbed. In this live-in rental agreement, I, Priscilla, will remain in Bruce's. This is the last clause of this purported contract that you say he signed years ago. I, Priscilla, will remain in Bruce's home free from aggravation, duress, verbal abuse, or any other form of harassment for a period of 3 to 6 months from the date that we end this relationship without, in capital letters, without paying Bruce any monies for household bills and or expenses in order to save up enough money to rent in another place. Who the heck would sign that? What man would sign that? For you to be able to live for 3 to 6 months in his house, rent-free, bill-free, in his face for 3 to 6 months?
I have the text message where he agreed to that,
Did you make up
Your
text
Honor.
messages too?
Oh,
Thank you.
no, Your Honor,
Thank
can't
you.
do that.
Because there's an app for that.
Can't
Let me
do
see
that.
let me see
No.
the text messages.
Okay. No, Your Honor. Here's the first one where, and then I have the other one for where he agreed that I can save my money and not pay him.
Actually, he doesn't say he stabbed his wife. He says he did call, he says, you are crazy. And you call me crazy, you say, after you stabbed your wife and blah, 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 blah. And he says, yes, I did, which could be referring to calling you crazy. Don't worry, I won't text you again. Did you forget about trying to shoot your ex with a .22 caliber gun? Did you try to shoot your ex with a .22, but it didn't go off?
No, Your Honor. So he know that I have a permit. He know that I have a gun. So in order to get back at me, that's what he said. But yes, I am a legal owner of a registered firearm.
Wow. This is amazing. I've seen my share of pathology, but this is pretty much the wildest thing I ever saw.
Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Whether it's routine maintenance, an emergency repair, or a dream project, Angie lets you compare quotes from multiple local pros, browse homeowner reviews, and even book a service instantly. Angie's been connecting people with skilled pros for nearly 30 years. So the next time you have a home project, bring it to Angie to get your job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Hear that? Believe it or not, summer is just around the corner. Luckily, Armor All, America's most trusted auto appearance brand, has what your car needs to get that perfect summer shine. Plus, now through May 31st, we'll give you $5 for every $20 you spend on Armor All products. That means car wash pods, protectant, tire shine, you name it. Find out how to get your $5 rebate at armorall.com. Armor All, less work, more clean. Terms apply.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, when a relationship ends, who is more vindictive generally, men or women? What do you think?
I think men are more vindictive.
Really?
Yes.
Why do you say?
Because they have an ego problem. They're more like, I just need to feel prideful, so they kind of do more to make the women feel bad.
Okay, well, what do you think?
I agree.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to a guy. What do you think?
Say women.
Why do you say?
Because when
Say something that's going to really piss her off.
I don't know if I want to.
No, why? Why?
I don't know. Just when it ends, it's they more fragile, I guess. Emotional.
Kidding. Going inside the courtroom.
I mean, I enjoyed waiting to exhale as much as the next woman, but this is not waiting to exhale. This is crazy.
Diary of a mad black woman.
Okay, you need to stop.
I didn't make the movie, Your Honor. I didn't make the movie.
You have a counterclaim against him for $1,231.98, $1,000 for future living expenses. How do you figure a guy who's breaking up with you has to pay for future living expenses, especially when you didn't pay rent for the last 2 months that you lived there?
Because it was our agreement. I said, I'm not the judge here. That's for you to decide.
That I should come to arrive at by this, because I'm finding this intensely unpersuasive.
He did.
And to be honest with you, it doesn't look like his signature.
Thank you.
It just doesn't, okay?
He did.
And by the fact that you're saying thank you and nodding, I'm not even sure
I'm about
what
to
that's
say-
supposed to glean from
I'm about
that.
to say no, because you're the judge, Your Honor. Of course, what you say
I am the
goes.
judge. That's the truest thing that has been said in here right now. Oh
No,
my gosh.
I just bring what I have in, of course.
Yeah, on your counterclaim against him, 0. Okay?
Okay.
0. Do you have receipts for any of the things that you're talking about here?
Your Honor, I only have, because it was so quick, I only found one receipt from, like, the things that I had gotten from Walmart for the,
Hand me whatever receipts you have.
the other stuff I don't have receipts for.
I'm taking into account everything that I'm seeing here. As entertaining as this may be, it's really quite sick. This is more than just, something to yuck about with your friends. This is kind of sick. And the thing that propelled you to do that is something you need to address. Because I would like to think that your ego's healthy enough to know that you have enough going for you that you would not put yourself in this position for 2 months with a man who has made it clear he doesn't want you. And then do something that is so personally character degrading as this. And then perjure yourself in a court of law with this. And then steal stuff that you're not entitled to. It's the whole array of things that occurred is so disgraceful that I really think that you should get some help. I find in favor of the plaintiff in this case. I am ordering you to pay him the sum of $3,000 for everything that you put him through. That's my verdict. And everything
Thank you, Your
that you took.
All right, so this is the defendant coming out here. What could you possibly be smiling about?
I said I wasn't the better liar, so there's not much else I can do because he know everything in there that happened.
Well,
was
how
the
do you
truth.
think this looked to the judge and to everybody watching this case?
I can only bring in what evidence I had, and it's up to the judge to decide. But again, we all know the truth. He was a liar. I can't.
You forged that document?
No, sir. That was his signature. Again, we did that when we first moved in. He signed it. He know he did. So it is what it is right now. So
yeah, it sure is. What would you call someone who would do all those things? Not saying you did them, but if someone would do all those things, what would you think of that?
What would be their motive behind doing those things?
I didn't ask that. I didn't ask that. What would a person like that be to you?
A person like that? Maybe a little off their rocker. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so how do you feel coming out of the courtroom after all this?
I feel great. To find out that somebody would do stuff like that, and I was really good to her, and then she turned on me like that to do all that nasty stuff that she did. How would you feel if somebody did that to you?
Oh, I don't know, but I can't even answer.
Disgusting. She's a disgusting pig.
Okay. Out to the street, Harvey.
Okay, I mean, when relationships are this hard, just break up. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Snapple. Welcome to the Snapple Market Auditory Experience. Close your eyes. Imagine you're walking into your neighborhood store. You make your way to the back and reach for your favorite Snapple flavor. You can't wait. You take a sip. Whoa, that's a lot of flavor. What flavor are you holding? Now open your eyes and check out Snapple.com to find ridiculously flavorful Snapple near you.
These are the plaintiffs Eric Mirowski and Karen Gagne. Eric says he hired the defendant to custom paint some of his motorcycle parts, and when he got them back, they were damaged. He knows the parts were ruined intentionally because he and the defendant had a disagreement over the price. And well, here they are. They're suing for $2,000, the amount it's going to cost them to fix and repaint the parts. This is the defendant, Jim LaVerge. He says he agreed to paint the plaintiff's motorcycle parts, which he did. The plaintiff then accused him of scratching and denting the gas tanks, which he didn't do. But he offered to repaint them for him anyway because they were friends for over 20 years. Unfortunately, the plaintiff makes a living off of suing people and making up false accusations. And here they are. He's accused of denting a friendship. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $2,000 for harassment.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant was supposed to custom paint his motorcycle, but says the guy deliberately screwed it up because they were in a beef. But the defendant says it's preposterous. It's the case of Chopper. He hardly knew her.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Eric Morawski and Karen Gagny, you are suing Jim LaVerge?
Yes.
Okay, for $2,000, the amount that you say it's going to cost to repaint motorcycle parts that, according to you, were damaged by him. You're counterclaiming the exact same amount for harassment. What happened?
I had Jim paint my tanks.
How did you meet him?
I've known him for over 20 years. We've been
So you were friends before this?
Mutual friends, yes.
Okay, and what happened?
He offered to paint my parts around Christmas.
To paint what parts?
My motorcycle part. 2 fenders, a gas tank, and an air cleaner.
Okay,
with a mural.
Were the parts off of the motorcycle?
Yes.
Okay.
I had taken them off. He came to my house, picked them up.
How much was he going to charge to paint them?
He told me $300, and that was just for the paint because we knew each other.
Okay.
And when they got scratched, he told me when he gave them to me that they made the paint, there was none left, so you couldn't fix it.
Okay, but what happened?
I gave them to him before Christmas. About a month before the incident, I wanted my bike back. I was going to store it. So
And this was what month?
About March.
Okay, and in March, when you say that to him, what does he say to you?
He said he was going to get him. He'll talk to his son, and then it was just...
But why his son?
Because his son was the one that painted him, that does the painting.
Okay, is your son here?
No, ma'am.
How old's your son?
25.
How
He's
old
a
are you?
United States
How old are
Marine.
you?
46. He's a United States Marine. I was just simply waiting for him to come back.
Thank you for his service. Is he the guy who fixed the motorcycle parts?
Yes, ma'am.
Painted them? All right, then what happens?
He told me I owed another $100.
For what?
He said for the clear coat, and I told him we already had an agreement. I paid for it. A day before I'm supposed to get him back, you add another $100 to it. So I was a little upset. His girlfriend jumped in our conversation on his phone.
Who's his girlfriend? Is that the lady sitting there?
Yes.
Okay.
And, he started yelling about $100 when she trumped in. I told him, she owes us money. Why don't you just wipe it off, get it from her.
Wait, who owes us money?
We helped her out around Christmas time because we were all hanging out. And when she trumped in, when he said I owed another $100 and she trumped in, I got a little upset. So I said, well, your girlfriend owes us money, so why don't you just get it from her?
So how did you resolve it that day?
So when I asked for it back that Friday after talking to her and him about the extra 100, she took it upon herself, I guess, and my tanks just disappeared for 20 hours, came back, and they were all scratched up.
Wait, how did they disappear for 20 hours?
Because
Go ahead, did you want to answer?
We got a text. We were supposed to pick up the parts at Aaron's house on Saturday.
Okay.
I went by the house twice once I got out of work, and there was no vehicles there, so we didn't stop by there. That night, we went to get a bite to eat. We got home, and we had received a text message from Jim asking if we had stolen the bike parts out of the truck.
Why did you think the bike parts had been stolen out of the truck?
Because he was supposed to be there that following week to pick the parts up at 3 o'clock, never showed up.
Right.
2 days goes by, we had things to do, so I moved the stuff from the truck into the garage to pack stuff in my truck.
Right.
Well, put them back in my truck that night, went out with Aaron, take her out for dinner.
And then they're in your truck, and then what happens? You go back to your truck and they're missing?
I went back to my truck, and I looked in the truck, and the tanks are missing out of my truck. So I was just
Okay,
like...
was it this wasn't a pickup truck and they weren't sitting?
Yes, it was a 4-door pickup truck.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart. You left in a pickup truck the parts of his motorcycle?
In my back seat of my pickup truck.
Oh, back seat. So it was locked?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, the passenger side wasn't because she didn't lock her side when she got out to go to dinner.
So when you see that, you think, oh my gosh, she's stolen it right out of my truck because she didn't lock the door.
Right.
Did that turn out to be the case?
Without paying the balance.
Right.
That's all I
Did
was
that
concerned
turn
about.
out to be the case?
No, ma'am.
What turned out to be the truth?
The truth was she actually put him in her vehicle at the house. She took him out. Aaron took him out of my vehicle to put him in her vehicle at the house because she was going to take the truck to get a swimming pool for the kids.
So when did they surface? When did you find the parts?
She told me the next day. She goes, they're in my truck.
And then what come on up, honey.
So at that
Did
point,
you neglect to tell him that they were in your truck?
Yeah, after he was yelling at.
Go ahead. What?
Because we were fighting about Eric.
the verbal conflict.
Well, the verbal conflict,
now I want to
and we
hear
were
her.
out to dinner and drinking, and we had an argument over him and me opening my mouth and telling him not to come on the property. But I had moved him before we went out into my truck because we were taking his truck out so that nothing would happen to him because they were in the back seat and on the floor.
And you just didn't tell him about that?
No, and then we ended up in a fight, and I started walking home from the restaurant we were at.
And I jumped the gun.
And he left, and so he didn't come back to the house that night. So I waited for him to come back.
You're right. I guess that's how long it's going to take you to find out. All right.
Yep. And nobody said anything to me, so I sat in the house with my kids, and they were all fighting over it in the driveway and yelling like I asked them not to at my house. So I waited till he came in and finally talked to me.
Oh, and then we told him, by the way, you want to know where they are? I have them.
Well, she was kind of.
Okay.
She was kind of
Now,
scared.
do you return them eventually to him?
Yes.
How? A couple hours
She
later. How did the transfer
She was
take
scared about telling
He
me about
drove
the
the-
scratch in the first place. So I simply said, don't sweat it. This is an easy fix. I can make
Because
this
she
go away.
scratched him?
The scratch
I'm
just from,
assuming
there
that's
was
how
a
it
scratch
happened.
this big on one of the tanks.
Oh, yeah, well, that's
From
why
being
we're
moved.
here, right? Over the
Right.
scratch this big on one of the tanks?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So
Okay, so did
unfortunately-
you fix it before you returned them to him?
I made the offer. No,
And he
he
didn't want it?
immediately wanted to put his bike away. So before I could even fix it, before I could even go any further with it, he demanded his stuff back. I said, I'll be there immediately to drop this stuff off. I will fix it or give you your money back or both just to get rid of them.
Okay,
I don't
and
need
what
customers
did he
like this.
say?
I don't want nothing to do with it. I'll see you in court. So here we are today.
But how did you hand over the parts to him? Because he has a part.
They were still in the back of her truck. I
No,
drove
how
her
did,
truck.
so did you hand them to him?
Hand
physically?
delivered it to him.
Okay.
And then explained and showed him the scratch and explained this
Do
could
you
be
have
fixed.
a picture of the scratch so I can see it? How? Because painting the whole thing was $300 or 300 and something bucks. Because let's say, were
It's
you
my
throwing in
son's-
the? Okay, can you not talk what you want to say and answer instead what I want to ask? The $300 that he paid you was for what? Just the paint? Because it was going to be done for free?
$450 for the entire job. Now that's a $1,200 job that I figured because he's also a customer of mine, comes to me to get his car fixed, etc. And I figured I'd give him a break because I've known him for 10 years.
So the entire job was supposed to be $450.
Yes. So,
He says that it was supposed to be $300 and he'd already paid you in advance.
right, because then I made a mistake between my son and me. I made the mistake, so I paid my son the $450, and all he had to do was pay the $3 and just go away. And that's the way I ended it. It's okay. I'll eat the other $150. It's not a big deal.
All right, let me, do you have a picture of the damage that's now, even though the whole thing is $450 or $1,200
And there's
to
actually a
repaint,
there's
the
actually-
scratch, I'm talking, the scratch
sorry.
on it is now $2,000? That's a pity.
But, ma'am, as you're looking at the pictures, there's scratches on the fenders, there's sandpaper taken to it. I even did a video with a walk around, and those pictures are from when I got them back, and I did a video today, just to show that I'm not gonna ruin and scratch my own stuff.
Wait, I don't know what you're saying. You think she took sandpaper to it?
Someone did.
Actually, Jim stated in the report, what he just stated here is totally different from what he stated in the report.
Let me see the reports.
Today is the day we go to court, so just so the pictures match up to this video, and so the other party doesn't try to say that we put scratches in my own bike parts, I'm gonna do a walk around. This is my bike, my whole bike, that has been in the process of building for a year. Right here.
Oh.
Should match the same picture that I have. This is all the other stuff right here.
How did the scratches happen? Did you do that on purpose? Because you were angry?
May I approach the
No, I'm asking her. How did they happen?
There was one little scratch in the North Attleboro.
There's not one little scratch. It's big scratches.
No, there was one little scratch, and my kids were, my son was with me, and the North Attleboro Police Department has pictures of it. That he
Well, I don't have them. Do you have the pictures that are there?
Nope, because I...
Well, maybe you should bring those to show that he scratched his own bike.
All right.
Right?
I didn't, because I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal.
Are you kidding me? You should see what I'm looking at. Take a look at what I'm looking at.
Ma'am, there was only a 4-inch scratch on the top of the tank, no other. I inspected the parts when I handed it to him.
I believe it's like a 2-inch
Now, anything else was added.
So you think he messed it up worse?
Absolutely.
Was that there?
No, ma'am. That's what the
Give me
police
all of
offered.
the police reports that anybody has, please.
I think everything should be
That at
right
the
there
bottom, that
from
one?
us.
Do you folks have police reports?
It's actually in the mail.
No, we
Go down.
brought voicemails of threats and the $1,000 and it all goes away. The text
Okay,
message
let me
he
hear
sent
that.
us.
And just up until 1:30 this morning, we were still receiving the messages.
Yeah.
You ever talk to my girl like that again, bro? Let me tell you something, Jim. You open the can, you and your girl are never gonna close. But you ever disrespect my girl again, I will drag you out of Aaron's house and beat you in the street like a that you are. You got that? No matter.
But ma'am, you need to,
Okay.
What was that?
that was
What
one
was
day
that?
she tried to talk to his girl.
No, I don't care. Are you kidding
What's
me?
what?
What was the N word that you that you threw at him? Like that's like the worst thing you could call him or something. What was that? What was that? Your shining moment on a recorder.
It's not that pretext.
Oh, really? It's out of context? Put it in context for us.
People say it all the time. I didn't mean it like a negative statement towards.
No, you meant it as a positive statement.
Now, ma'am, I also have text messages to back it up.
As do I.
Honestly, what I want to do is like I can't just throw my gavel at him. It's not funny. It's what I mean. I'm sorry, but it's like what I want to do and what I have to do are two different things. I still have to pretend I didn't hear that, and I still have to rule on the law. You told the police that she admitted to you that she had arranged for a theft from the truck?
I believe that's what it was, because he was saying he might
No,
have had
this is
something
what
to do with
the
that.
police officer says, not that you assumed that you reported to the officer that she said to you that she arranged for a theft from the car because everyone is so angry at each other that she wanted to get back at him because she's just that nasty. Someone who mothers people with that same brain, okay, actually said that, all right? And that's what you told the cops she said. Was anyone ever arrested for anything?
No, ma'am.
Why would painting it, if painting it by his son was going to be $300, how does that magically translate to $2,000 now?
I did all the prep work. It was all primed and ready.
I'm sorry. Explain your $2,000 claim. How does it become $2,000?
Because I got to strip it all the way back down to metal, do the body work again, and get it back up, prime it, prep it, paint it, clear it, and that's minus a mural.
Was it received by you stripped?
It was in primer, in rough shape.
Did you ever return the $300? Did you mail him a check or anything?
Ma'am, I had the money in my pocket. We offered it right off the bat.
The answer was, my question would be no, right? You never returned the money, seeing as you didn't provide the service you got paid for, right?
Correct.
That never happened. Your counterclaim against him for harassment, okay? Obviously, there was something, according to those messages, that you said to his wife or girlfriend that he did not appreciate or that he perceived you to have said. What was that about?
His girlfriend had tried to attack her in the vehicle in front of me. Yes, ma'am. She was leaving the parking lot. I was in a customer's car behind her as she got gas. She approached the vehicle, said a few C words to her, and this and that. I yelled out the window.
And take a shower very quickly.
I yelled out the window, drive, and I said, that was very classy. Look behind you. There was 2 kids standing at the gas pump with their mother. And I just said, just drive. And I said, that was real classy as I drove past her and drove out the parking lot. I said, no more, no less. And I don't want to talk to these people. I just want to give them back their money so they go away and don't come back. Period. I offered multiple times in multiple text messages, you want your money back, take your money back.
But why would you think it's appropriate to just return $300 under the circumstances? This whole little shenanigan, her little game, ended up, damaging the thing when the thing could have all ended over $100. The thing could have all ended the day before she did that. It is your fault. It's your fault. Everybody's here, okay? Because you're vicious and you have a bad temper that you can't control. And now, instead of you recognizing that what she did was wrong, how do you figure that just $300 is going to solve that when now it has to be restripped and reprimed and repainted?
So do you think adults kind of become like children when they get in especially petty disputes?
Yes, I do.
Why? Why do they? Because they do a lot.
Because there's a lot of name calling.
But why do they do it?
They get angry and they get very vicious and negative and just want to get at people's...
It's like primal therapy. People don't grow up. Going inside the courtroom.
Ma'am, by the damage that I've seen to the tank with
I'm
the
not going to
materials...
assume that this guy scratched his own tank to make you look bad. You want to show me how it's less than what it is? Pull out your cell phone and take a picture that night before it's returned to him. Okay?
I got
So
all that
stop
info.
talking. Stop talking. Okay? This $1,200 job you talk about, according to you, it's a $1,200 job that you were giving him for $300 or $450.
Mm-hmm.
From that, I am going to subtract $200 for harassment, and I'm going to order you to pay him $1,000 for the damages. The both of you. That's because it was entrusted to your care, so you need to make sure that she does not do something that's maniacal, and that's because you did something that caused everyone this much grief.
Okay, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, the litigants are going to be in the courtroom, and they're going to be yakking to Kurt.
So after all that, 1,000 goes over to the plaintiff's side. You did collect 200 on the harassment end of this thing. What's your feeling about this whole crazy story?
Childish. Just simply childish. You know, a simple scratch. He did some more malicious damage to it to try to make it look better and drum it
A
up.
couple of specific questions. Any regrets on your part about your games that led to the whole scratch-up and problem?
It got scratched by accident, and there was a little scratch, and then without a...
That's no regrets then? No regrets
Nope,
about it?
not at all, because he didn't...
You were afraid of his temper and the way he
Not in the
flares?
least, not in the least bit, you know.
Guys, if you would right this way, please.
Thank you.
All right, so step on up here. No, come on in. Your reaction to this outcome here? Yeah.
I got my money back. It's going to cost a
You
little.
regret what we heard on tape and, you know, the way you flared up on the whole thing?
I was mad, and it was a moment that she tried to approach her. And like I said, it goes a little deeper than that, and pretty much states it in the report.
I know, but do you regret what we heard, or do you stand by it?
Well, yeah, I regret it. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not like that. I work with a lot of different color people. I'm not prejudiced whatsoever.
Harvey?
You know, what's ridiculous about this case, Kurt, is that it's over $100. Sit down with the other person when you get into a dispute like that and reason with them and avoid going to court.